I just told you before, not every spirit you deal with is come out. There are different ways to deal with spiritual wickedness that is happening around you. Let's talk about relationships, because that's one that really gets us. It's close to home. That one really gets us because it's close to what? Home. So I'm going to use the 6 people that are up here as an example. And I pray by the mercies of God that he'll give me the grace to teach this correctly. So we have 2 people in a relationship here, 2 people in a relationship here, 2 people in a relationship here. And it doesn't have to be married or girlfriend. Like, it could be siblings. It could be mother, daughter. It could be father, son. It could be your friend. Anybody of which you're doing life with. You're in a relationship with that person. Now let's start over here. So we have 2 people that are in relationship. And sometimes what God will do is he will call you. He will impress upon you to separate. Maybe not for life, but maybe for a season. Let me give you an example. Abraham was called from out of his family to go to a place that God was going to show him. But Abraham never went back to that family after that. He just kept going. Now let's give another example. Joseph was also strategically separated from his family by God. In fact, he didn't understand this until much later in life. When his brothers came back, you guys know the story. They bowed before him like he saw in the dream. And in that moment, it clicked. God sent me on before you to preserve you. I hope this is making sense so far. So notice, with Abraham, he was just separated for good. Joseph was separated for a time. Is this making sense so far? So sometimes, let's bring it back to the present. Sometimes what will happen is you're doing life with somebody, a friend, a girlfriend, you know, we always go get our nails done together. We, you know, whatever the case may be. And the Lord is impressing upon you, separate. But you guys are joined at the hip. You guys are doing life together. That's my friend though. That's my sibling. That's my parent. We're doing life. I don't want to separate. So you stay linked together. And because you're not willing to separate, so as a man thinketh, so is he. My father always told me this. Show me the company you keep, I'll tell you who you are. My father always told me that. So God is trying to deliver you from spirits that may be attached to the person you're connected to. And as long as you stay with that person, wherever the spirits are leading that person, they're leading you also. They don't even have to be with you in order to lead you. They'll just use the person that you're in connection to. Is this making sense so far? Now let's come to the middle. We have another relationship here. And sometimes what the Lord Jesus will say, like Joseph, is, I need you to separate from this person for a time. But you don't know. His plan is to lead you away. Step apart. His plan is to lead you away. Because the person that's back here, he actually wants to save them. He actually wants to rescue them. That was actually his ordained plan from the beginning. But if we're thinking carnally, we'll only see what's happening in front of us. But that's my person. I can't do that. That's not right. Let me ask you a question. God using Joseph to deliver his family, and the way of which he did that, slavery, imprisonment, false accusations, do you think any of that was fair? Absolutely not fair. Problems. Problems are evidence of a promotion. So God might separate you for a time because his desire is to save this one. But in order to save this one, the spirits that are with this one, he has to separate you from. So now you're disconnected from the influence of those spirits. So then you can hear clearly. There was a blockage there the whole time in your ears. You couldn't hear because of the connection. Is this making sense? So this is important for you to understand. If you don't understand the world happening around you, you'll just think, but that's my... What is God trying to deliver you from? Direct you away from? What's happening in the spiritual world that you are not aware of? What is the world of spirits that are being activated around you that God is trying to push you, show you, direct you? Here's the scary truth. You won't always understand what's happening. So that's where a thing called trust comes in. Faith doesn't mean you understand everything. It means you know the outcome. But it doesn't mean you know that how you're going to get there. And the why certain things are happening. Why are these people just leaving me? See, God will do a few things. Sometimes he'll impress upon you to leave. Or sometimes he'll just remove that person. You ever experienced that? You wonder why is this person switched up on me? I don't understand. Hello, Deuteronomy. God will cause your enemies to do what? Rise against you. And then fall before you. Notice, you did nothing. God just removed that one. You're over here in your feelings like, why they got to do me like that? You've ignored the world of spirits around you. Now we come over here. Now there's another aspect. Here's another aspect. God may bring somebody into your life that is meant to train you, is meant to mentor you. But if pride gets in your way, you'll neglect that relationship. You'll let it go. But God sent that person to you to unlock you. So now you have to make a decision. Do I stay together for the advancement of the kingdom? Or do I separate because that person offended me? Am I speaking to somebody? We all can get offended. Nobody likes being rebuked. I mean, some of us have matured to a place where, I'm not there yet. I don't like being rebuked. I'm just being honest with you. But rebukes have saved me from things that I could avoid. So God will bring people into your life that offend you. You listen to them. PG doesn't know what she's talking about. You know what? I don't need to go here anymore. Let me just... You don't know. God sent a servant of God to wake you up to the world of spirits around you because he wants to deliver you to a deeper dimension in him. This is important for us to understand. We won't always understand. Obedience is the important piece in all of this. Because if you're waiting around needing to understand why to everything before you move, you may miss it. I'm not talking about being foolish. But you have to ask yourself this question. How much do you trust the Lord Jesus when it comes to your own flesh and blood? How much do you trust the Lord Jesus with your children? How much do you trust the Lord Jesus with your parents? How much do you trust the Lord Jesus with your spouse? Am I speaking to somebody? How much do we trust the Lord Jesus when it comes to these things that are close to the heart? In fact, let me give you another example. Abraham. God gives him a son, Isaac. Abraham is overjoyed. It's what he's always wanted. Then God comes back and says, give him back to me. Wait, what? This is cultish. This is paganism. God, you want me to give a blood sacrifice? Isn't that what the pagans do? Isn't that what the spirit of Moloch does? Hello? And that, yeah, see? And that is where Abraham was taken out from. So notice, the ram appears, the replacement sacrifice is given, and then God says to Abraham, I'm going to make you a father of many nations. Wait, what? I just wanted one son. Notice, the problem was the setup for the promotion. You may be seated. Give the Lord a hand that he is a God of promotions. Promotions in the spirit that manifest in the natural.